Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how to shoot time-lapse videos of your art. As an artist, there are many good reasons for you to shoot time-lapse videos of your art because number one, it allows you to show your art to the world without spending extra time because you are painting in your studio anyway. So you're just putting your camera on the side so you can produce amazing, engaging quality content without much effort. Number two, it allows you to earn extra money from sharing this with the world using Patreon, Skillshares, Udemy. There are many platforms out there for you to share it so that other people can pay to see those content. Either they can be art students or can be your fans. Either way, you are projecting yourself as a artist, as a professional artist, and showing yourself as a hardworking artist, and it's very, very positive for your brand image. So go ahead, grab a camera, and let's make some time-lapse videos for your social media or for you to generate extra income. There are two ways when it comes to shooting a time-lapse. The first way I want to introduce is the video method. I call it video method because really it's not a time-lapse, it's just a normal video. All you need is a camcorder. Anything can record video from a phone, tablet to this old camcorder. This Canon is 10 years old. It records AVC HD. It's not the best quality, but nevertheless it is HD quality. That's probably enough for YouTube. You just grab a tripod, put it on the tripod, and then put the power cord into the wall socket. Make sure that you connect this to the socket, otherwise you can run out of power in the middle of the shooting. So the video method will allow you to shoot every single minute of you painting in front of the camera. So the good thing is you can decide later in the post-production which part you want to show in the real speed, which part cut out and which part and fast forward, so that you can show maybe important parts of your painting process without compromising. So it's not the same speed throughout the video, but some parts, the important parts, slower, the rest of the parts faster, and you can talk to the camera, you can explain while you're painting like Bob Ross, or you can just chat to the camera talking about whatever you want to say like a vlog. It's very engaging because you have this interaction between you, the camera, and you, the painting, and you are the medium in the middle, and it's very fluid and it's very effortless because you don't have to record a voiceover later on. So the whole workflow can be very smooth. The downside is that you will need a large computer and disk space to make the post-production because you're recording hours of materials, and maybe you run out of camera card space, disk space, the computer RAM power, and it's just very, very slow to edit because there are so many hours of material for you to go through. It can be a huge downside if your computer is very old, or if you don't know editing so much, you don't want to spend hours in front of your computer, then it can be complicated to use this method. Then the next method is better for you. It's the photo method. This is the classical way to make a time lapse. If you talk to a photographer, they will tell you this is the only way to make a time lapse. It's by using a camera like the camera, a point and shoot. If your camera is produced in the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure that it has this time-lapse feature embedded in the camera software. All you need is to set it up and to take a photo in a certain interval, like half a second, 2 seconds, and depending on how often you want the image to be taken. If it allows you to set up the picture quality, the ISO, white balance, or maybe the frame rate as well, set it up manually as much as possible and as fixed as possible because you don't want it to go crazy automatic on its own, and then hit the record. When you finish painting, you hit the stop button, and then the camera will generate a video file automatically and save it onto the card, and then this file will be ready to publish or ready to go through the post-production. The good thing is everything is automated and you have a small compact file in the card and it doesn't take a large space. A normal video takes 24, 25 or 30 frames per second, means you're taking 30 pictures per second. If you use time-lapse photo method, you're taking fewer photos. Even that you're painting 20 hours in front of the camera, you are capturing fewer content actually. Even though it doesn't have the feature, you can use an intervalometer to let the camera take photos in an X amount of time for the frequency that you desire, and it's all possible using an extra device. Maybe it's too complicated for you, so go ahead, maybe check on your smartphone. Maybe a smartphone has this feature, although I don't really recommend you using smartphones to take time lapse, which I will explain at the end of the video. If you are on budget, you can try an action cam like GoPro. Those cameras normally come with this kind of features that allows you to save a very compact file, optimized. It will be automatic. As you can see, it is very easy to operate. It is really time-lapse for dummies if you have the software built in. However, there's a huge downside, is that there is no audio. Because you're shooting a bunch of photos, there's no audio being recorded, and even though if you can record it, imagine that because it is all cut, right, it wouldn't be nice anyway. So there's no audio. If you want to speak to the camera, you have to record on a different occasion or using voiceover. You have to purchase a different mic if you don't have a mic, a decent mic to your computer. And then finally, it's maybe more complicated for the workflow. So you do need to choose between the video method and the photo method and see which one works better for you. The next element I want to talk about is the stabilization. It's the most important part of making a good time-lapse video. Not the camera, but this stabilization. You would want to buy a really sturdy tripod, regardless of the size. It has to be really sturdy so it doesn't like wobble around. I'll give you an example. This is a Gorilla Pod. It's very versatile, but it's wobbly and it's easy to like knock over on a desk. Maybe you're not careful, you moved something and you hit a camera, it got crushed onto your painting, onto something else. Not nice, it's not safe. So you would want to grab a sturdier tripod, and maybe it doesn't have a fluid head, it doesn't have a very nice tripod head, is okay. Just sturdy because you won't be using the tripod heads anyway. And if you want to move the tripod, you will need to move it on a very smooth surface little by little. Ideally, you will want to put some wheels on the tripod if you want to move it. But if you're not sure, just keep it in the same place. Don't move it whatsoever. Keep it fixed, and then until you finish the painting, go and stop the recording, and then you can move the camera. This is why I wouldn't recommend you using a smartphone, because imagine someone is calling you in the middle of the shoot. You have to get the phone out of the tripod like this. You will move it, and then once you put it back, it won't be same anymore, and you have to do it all over again, and it's just not a very nice workflow. And every time you move it, the image will be like jerky, it'll be jumpy. It's not nice. So it's very important to have a dedicated device, especially if you're recording on several days and you can't finish the painting in one day. Then it's another reason to have a dedicated device so that you don't have to move it away from the studio space when you go home. The last element I want to talk about is the lighting. Of course, if you're working on a mural, you want to work outside using natural light, it's totally okay. But if you are working in a studio space, I would highly recommend you using artificial lighting, because the sunlight will change over time. In the morning, in the evening is different. Maybe it's cloudy, maybe it's sunny, it's also different. If you use automatic setting, it can be very tricky as well. The camera can fire up totally, one image to another differently because the light is interfering with the calculation of your AI of the camera. So it can be complicated. So I would say invest $50 in a set of umbrella lights or soft boxes. If you don't have the space on your desk, use a lamp. Just replace the light bulb using a very neutral bulb like 5500 Kelvin, so that you can have this nice neutral glow, that you're not casting weird colors or shadows onto the painting itself. If you have some equipment already laying around, maybe in your parents' garage, ask around, source those materials. Maybe it's okay for now. You can just produce a few videos to see which option works better for you, and then later on you can always upgrade your gears. Making time-lapse video is not as intimidating as you might think. It is actually quite easy. You just have to try to find the optimal workflow for you, for your creative process. If you have any questions, make sure you drop me a comment below and I'll get back to you ASAP. Maybe in another video, I'll talk about the post-production element of making time-lapse videos. If you have those questions, also let me know so I can prepare the answers for you in advance. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.